Okay, let's talk about something we've all dealt with, right? That moment the water in the sink or shower just stops going down, and you get that sinking feeling. Well, what if I told you most of those clogs are totally preventable? Today, we're going to go deep inside your pipes to figure out what's really happening down there, and more importantly, how you can stop the problem before it even gets started.
Yeah, this look familiar, that slow, gurgling drain. It's more than just annoying, you know? It's your plumbing trying to tell you something. And if you're tired of having this standoff, you've come to the right place. We are going to turn you into a clog prevention master.
So, the first thing you got to realize is that clogged drains aren't some kind of mysterious plumbing curse. Nope. The cause is usually way simpler than you'd think. It's just everyday stuff building up over time. So, let's get to the root of it.
Honestly, it just boils down to basic math. Think of it like a traffic jam in a tunnel. When too many things try to squeeze through at once, or when sticky stuff slows everything down, you get a backup. It's really just about what's going in versus what your pipes can handle.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's play detective. If your drain was a crime scene, who would be in the police lineup? Let's meet the most common offenders that are secretly plotting against your plumbing right now. And public enemy number one in the kitchen is this stuff: fog. That stands for fats, oils, and grease. Now, when you pour that bacon grease down the drain, it's a warm liquid, right? No big deal. But as soon as it hits those cold pipes, it starts to solidify. It basically acts like sticky glue, just coating the inside of your pipes and grabbing every little food particle that tries to pass by. Over time, that builds into a really stubborn, nasty blockage.
Okay, now let's head over to the bathroom. Here we find a notorious partnership: hair and soap scum. It's a classic team up. The hair forms this sort of net, and then the soap scum and all the mineral gunk from your water binds it all together into this dense, disgusting mess that just chokes your drain. They're a real villainous duo for sure.
So you can see the split pretty clearly here. In the kitchen, it's almost always about fog and bits of food. Meanwhile, in the bathroom, you've got hair teaming up with the residue from soap, toothpaste, you name it. And like they say, knowing your enemy is half the battle. Now, beyond those everyday culprits, there are some, let's call them the heavy hitters. Things like those so-called flushable wipes, which, spoiler, don't really break down, or a small toy that goes for a swim. Even tree roots can get into your main sewer line. And sometimes it's not a clog at all, but a problem with your plumbing vents that just makes it seem like one.
Okay, we've identified the bad guys. Now it's time to talk about how to fight back. This is where you take control. With just a couple of simple, proactive habits, you can keep your drains happy and flowing freely. Here is your first and probably easiest weapon. Just once a week, do this. First, pull out any visible gunk from the drain opening. You know what I'm talking about. Then, just turn on the hot water and let it run for a full minute. That's it. This little flush helps melt and push through all that greasy, soapy buildup before it gets a chance to really set up camp in there. And here's your daily cheat sheet. Simple stuff. Use drain screens. Seriously, they are your best friend. They catch so much stuff. If you have a greasy pan, wipe it out with a paper towel before you wash it. And I'll say it again, please do not pour fats, oils, or grease down the drain. And try to stay away from those harsh chemical cleaners for just regular maintenance. They can be tough on your pipes. A gentle enzymatic cleaner is a much better, safer bet for breaking down all that organic gunk. Now, for anyone who wants to level up their prevention game, here's a pro tip. See that U-shaped pipe under your sink? That's called a P-trap. Its main job is to hold water to block sewer gas, but it's also a champion at catching hair and other junk. Every 6 months or so, you can just put a bucket underneath it, unscrew it by hand, and clean it out. It sounds complicated, but it's surprisingly easy, and wow, is it effective. Okay, so being proactive is powerful, but it's also really important to know your limits. Some problems are just bigger than a simple clog, and that's when you need to call in the professionals. Let's look at the signs that tell you it's time to call for backup. So how do you know? How do you tell the difference between a little clog you can handle yourself and something more serious that's hiding deeper in your plumbing system? Let's break down those key warning signs. Okay, red flag number 1. If you're doing everything right and those clogs just keep coming back, something bigger is going on. Number 2, if you hear gurgling noises from your pipes, like when you flush the toilet and the shower drain makes a weird sound, that could be a vent issue. And here's the big one. If your sink, your shower, and your toilet are all draining slowly at the same time, the problem isn't in one drain, it's probably in your main line. And finally, this one's non-negotiable. If you see any sign of sewage backing up, do not wait. Call a plumber immediately. So really, what all this boils down to is that you have the power here. By just being a little more mindful of what you're putting down your drains and picking up a few simple habits, you can stop the vast majority of clogs from ever happening. It's all about proactive care, not reactive panic.
So the next time you see that water start to drain a little slowly, don't just see it as a chore you have to deal with. Think of it as a message. Your house is talking to you. The only question is, are you listening? Paying attention to these little signals is really the key to keeping your home healthy and happy.